Hey guys! I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for tuning in every single week. Um, it is so special to me that we are able to connect on a weekly basis, and I just appreciate your willingness to learn and to grow and to connect with me. So, thank you very much. Congratulations to everybody who finished the four agreements in August. And also, of course, congratulations to everybody who finished Success Club in August. That's awesome. I can't wait to give you guys shout outs later this week. This week's call, we are going to chat a little bit about the four agreements and how that applies to our business. And then we're going to do a little bit of chatting about passion and energy. So, first, starting off with the four agreements and how I've been able to apply it to my business. First, be impeccable with your word. Basically, guys, if you say it, mean it. And if you don't mean it, don't say it. Uh, it's really quite simple. Honestly, if you say you're going to run a challenge group, you better run it from start to finish. If you say to someone that you're going to put them in a group of 5 like minded people and give them support, then you better find 5 one way or another, right? If you say you're going to hit Success Club, you better do it, right? So, being impeccable with our word doesn't mean being perfect, but it does mean doing our best to be intentional with our words. So, when you write out your goals every single week, be intentional about your words and what words you use to choose. Make it sound as though you've already done it, accomplished it. Put the positive spin on things. Something I think really powerful that's helped me both in my business but also just as a mom is being really intentional about not using the words I can't. I will often say, I struggle, or I haven't yet figured that out, or I'm practicing, or I'm trying, which I hate try too, but I'm trying, or uh, I'm attempting to learn, or I'm not interested, or it's not my priority. Also, would be something I use in place of I can't. Do you really mean you can't? Or is it just one of those other things? You haven't practiced it yet. You haven't tried yet. You haven't learned yet. You haven't made it a priority. I think for me personally, it's so important not to put that lid on my hopes, my dreams, my abilities, and that my children don't hear me use those words paired together. And I think for me, that's probably one of the most important parts of being impeccable with my word. Is that phrase right there? I really, and again, I'm not perfect. I'm sure I'm sure it's slipped out of my mouth, but I'm very conscious about being intentional in not using those two words together. So it's not always just about what we say, but it's about what we choose not to say as well. And also something that is always in practice is, of course, the words that we use to describe other people and ourselves. So using positive and loving words and how powerful that can be when we just change the intention and the thought process that goes into our words, how that can really turn around our lives and our business and our personal lives as well. So being impeccable with our word. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm cutting it short. I recorded half of this call and then my computer froze. Insert grumpy cat here. So I'm like repeating myself. I know I'm not repeating myself to you guys because you didn't hear the part that I've already recorded. But I'm like, oh no, I have to do it all over again. So that's being impeccable with your word. The one other thing I did want to say about that is for many, many years I've heard a saying where it says, if what you said to yourself, to your spouse, to your children, to your team, to your coaches, to your customers, if what you said out loud tonight were going to be broadcast as headline news tomorrow morning, would you sleep well tonight? And I think, again, that's not to make anybody feel bad about who we are, the choices we make. We all have bad days. But I think that that's a great check-in and an accountability system for all of us to kind of go, okay, am I on the right track with my words today? Or could I be doing a little bit better? So I like that one. Moving on to the second agreement, which is don't take anything personally. Why? Because it's never about you. And the example I want to use here is when Melissa first met me to show me the business opportunity. If she went in thinking, okay, I'm going to sign this coach today and everything's going to be groovy. And we went through that whole meeting, and the reality was at the end of the meeting, she told me how much everything was to get started. I knew that I did not have the money in my bank account. So, but I was of course, too embarrassed to tell her. I just said, I'm gonna need a couple weeks, but I'm really interested. And I really want to do this. So, don't give up on me. Just, check in with me again soon, and I'll be ready. If she walked away thinking, oh, she doesn't like me because my abs are too awesome, or oh, she doesn't like me because Beachbody's weird and she figured out it's an MLM, or oh, I had something in my teeth and now she doesn't want to be a Beachbody coach. If that's how Melissa walked away from our meeting and she never followed back up with me, I may have never become a coach. But because she didn't take it personally, because she knew it wasn't, she followed up with me and I saved the money and I was able to become a coach. Not once did anything about Melissa cross my mind when I was making that decision. To be quite honest, I didn't give a lot of thought about, whether she'd be a great coach or whether it was her team I really wanted to be on. I just figured she was a nice enough person, and that was kind of the end of it. The rest of it was really all about me. And I want you to know your challengers, your potential customers, and your potential coaches, it's not about you either. When they say not now or no, think about how you came into a challenge or the business, whichever came first for you. Chances are you were thinking about how much money's in my bank account, what's my schedule look like for the next month, what are my kids up to, is this something I'm going to do, or am I going to fail again? You had all these questions and doubts about yourself. I would venture to guess that 99% of you never gave a second thought about the person asking you to join the challenge or to join their team. Am I right? It's not about you. It's just not. So stop making it about you. Stop acting like your feelings are getting hurt every time somebody tells you no or not now. It's not about you. Something's going on with them, and that's okay. And if you allow that and accept that, they will always come back to you when they're ready. I wish I could drill that into everybody. Because when you have that great attitude of not taking it personally, they will come back to you. But if you act wounded and hurt and like your feelings are hurt, they're not going to come back to you because they're going to be afraid they're going to hurt your feelings again. You're not somebody that they're going to want to work with. So just don't take it personally. Know that whatever choice they're making, it really has to do more with them than you, and be okay with that. And that will really help with consistency in your business and longevity in your business. Because if you're taking everything personally, trust me, this business is not going to be any fun. And if it's not any fun and you're constantly hurt, you're not going to want to do it. I mean, I've been it'll be 5 years in November, and I couldn't take 5 years of this if I took every single no, not now, or nothing, no response. If I took all of that personally, I would have quit 4 years ago. So don't take anything personally. Next is going to be always do your best. That's not the third, that's the fourth. Hold on. I have my notes. Yes, I have to look. I know this book very, very well, but I also am human and I have a lot on my mind, and I have to check. Sorry. 1 second. There we go. Don't make assumptions. Sometimes that one's so easy it eludes me. Don't make assumptions. And to be honest, that one for me, especially when it comes to business, really, really builds on don't take things personally. Because if you're taking things personally, you're probably making assumptions, right? You assume that the person doesn't like you, or you assume that the person is saying no because you are mean, ugly, scary, annoying, you've asked too many times, yada, yada, yada. Don't make assumptions. People will always, I probably get inbox this more than anything from new coaches asking, I need to follow up with this person but I haven't had any response and I don't know what to say. What do you say? And when my intention of sending the message is really and truly not to make assumptions, it's really easy to figure out what to say. Like, hey, I have no idea what you're thinking, but the last time I talked to you, you were really interested. What can I do? Do you have any more questions? Is there anything I can make clear for you? Any way I can help you out? I just want to make sure that, this message didn't get lost in the shuffle. Whatever it is, as long as you're not making assumptions and you go in with a positive attitude, chances are they'll respond to you. And if they don't, guess what? It's because of something they're going through. It's not because of you, because why? It's not personal, right? So don't make assumptions. Don't ever make assumptions about why your challenge group is being quiet or why someone hasn't messaged you back. You just always have to take a deep breath. And usually I've found when I get an answer or I ask for an answer, I have a lot more peace and harmony in my life than I do when I sit there and I twiddle my thumbs and I worry about thinking about what are they thinking and making assumptions. This one has really, for me, as far as the business is concerned, has been something that brings me a lot of peace and a lot of comfort in running the business. Since I've chosen not to make assumptions, I sleep better at night, and I have a lot clearer air. I don't have as many things hanging out in the open that I'm worrying about. So the last one I also think is so super important for us both personally and professionally, and that is always do your best. And no, this is the important part. Know that your best is going to be different from day to day, from morning to night, from month to month, and etc. Okay? I think for me personally, again, an example that I can use is when most of you know that a year ago, my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer. It was a stage 4, so he chose not to do any treatments, just to live as comfortably and free as he could until he couldn't anymore. And he passed away in November. And my best, those 6 months when he was sick, and to be quite honest, probably the first 6 months after he passed away, is not the best that I could do today. But I knew, because I practiced those agreements, I knew that really and truly was my best. I was doing my best to give what I could to the team. I was doing my best with my nutrition while also practicing self-love and comfort. I was doing my best, but that wasn't the same best that I can do today, because today's a different day and there's different circumstances. For all the new moms out there, oh my gosh, I've been a new mom in this business too. About 2 or 2.5 years into my business too? Oh, no, almost 3 years into my business. Ainsley was born. The kind of coach I was the first couple months after she was born is a totally different kind of coach than I am today or tomorrow, because I wasn't sleeping and I was crazy because I had a baby, right? You have to understand that doing your best just means doing your best given the circumstances. Doing your best given your financial state, what's going on in your personal life, your health. And it's not about making excuses. It's about truly knowing and being okay with the choices we've made throughout the day. And going to sleep going, that may not have been a perfect day, but I did my best. Or maybe at the end of the day you went, wow, I really made some crappy choices today. I really could have done better. I'll try again tomorrow. And that's okay. But I think, again, it's given me a lot of peace in this business and has helped with my longevity. Meaning, again, if I didn't accept this for me, I don't think I could have lasted 5 years in the business and know that I'll be here for 5 more after. So again, these 4 agreements have been really, really critical, not only in my business. I mean, they've been critical in my business because it's changed how I've dealt with my customers, my potential coaches, my potential customers, and you, my team. But it's also changed how I handle my personal life as well. My spouse also read the book, and we speak the same language as far as that's concerned. And it really helped us. We read it right at the very beginning of when we started dating, and it really helped us through some really tough stuff while dating and early parts of marriage and gosh, having a baby and all that stuff. So thank you to those of you who have read it, and to everyone who's a little bit skeptical, because I did say it's a little bit mystical, has some spiritual undertones, might be a little bit different than anything you've ever read before. I really do. I hope that you take the challenge and just be open, go in with an open mind and an open heart, and know that you take what you like out of any personal development book, take what you like and apply it, and then leave the rest. So I challenge you guys to go for it, even though August is over. I hope that more of you choose to go back and read The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. I know it's made a big difference in my life, and that's why I am recommending it and have recommended it. Moving on from there, I wanted to talk a little bit about some other things we should be applying to our business, and that is passion and vision. So first of all, I want you to ask yourself, why are you passionate about being a coach? There is absolutely no right or wrong answer here. This is a personal question, and your answer should be personal. I will also say that for me, it changes sometimes from day to day. I guess I get an example. I was at Great Wolf Lodge for a long weekend vacation with my family, and because I live in the fitness world and I work from home, the only time I'm out in public, I'm at gyms where people tend to be fitter than normal. And then the rest of the time I'm at home. Most of my friends are fairly fit, and that's just kind of the little bubble that I live in. And then going to Great Wolf Lodge, it was hard to watch, heartbreaking, eye-opening, and reignites my passion for ending the trend of obesity. Watching people struggle to get up the stairs to go down water slides, watching people struggle to get into the inner tubes because their bodies just don't maneuver, comfortably. It was heartbreaking, and I said to my oldest son, Austin, I'm like, oh gosh, I said it breaks my heart to see so many people who are overweight and need my help, and I know that I don't think I can help every single one of them. And he just looked at me and he goes, Mom, he goes, but they could be using Beachbody and they could just be on their journey to getting better. Wow. Brings tears to my eyes that he said that, and I was like, you're absolutely right. They totally could be on their journey, and that's powerful. But it's also eye-opening in that we still have so much work to do. Don't ever think because you live in a bubble like I do, maybe you don't, but if you do, don't ever think that our work is done. There's so much more work to do and lives to change. And again, at Great Wolf Lodge, looking at all the little kiddos out there who struggled with the same things, I think a lot of that behavior is learned. Oh, and we have a lot of work to do, guys. And that, for me, I'm passionate about that. Something else for me that I know that I'm passionate about is the financial side of the business, because that's, for me, where my biggest transformation happened. I went from unemployed, homeless, divorced, bankrupt, all of that, to where I am today. And that took, it's not even 5 years, and it was probably only 2 before it was really a transformation where you could call it a true transformation. And I know so many people who are in the same situation. I am very passionate about being able to use this business to provide for your family. I know people who, if they could make $5,000 in a year in this business, that is a huge contribution to their family. I know many, many people who, if they could make $10,000 or to $10,000 to $20,000 a year, that rounds out their family's income and makes a ginormous contribution to their family. If I can help people change their financial situation, I am wildly passionate about that because I know I still, to this day, my heart starts to pound and my palms sweat and I get really agitated when I go to check out at the grocery store. That pain body in me is not gone yet because when I was broke and unemployed and bankrupt, I didn't always know if I was actually going to be able to purchase the groceries that were in my cart. And I could probably say 3 to 5 different times with 2 little boys in tow, I left the grocery store without the groceries we had spent time picking out. That feeling resonates so strongly in me, and I know it, and I will always remember what it feels like. And because I do, I have a deep passion to help people figure out how to make this business work so they don't have to feel that anymore. That's me. That's my story. I'm also passionate about not necessarily the weight that people lose, but what comes when they do lose the weight. So maybe they go from having a rocky marriage to having a really solid marriage. Maybe they go from really low self-confidence to being a really confident, outgoing, happy person. Those are just some things that literally light a fire in my belly and drive my passion in this business. But you have to have a passion for some part of this business. It doesn't have to be the same as mine or anybody else's, but there has to be something about running this business, not just doing it for yourself, but teaching others how to do the same. There has to be something in you that drives you to do this on the days that you don't want to, the months when you don't want to, the times when you don't want to. There has to be something. Because if there's not, I'm going to tell you, you're probably not going to be here 6 months from now. So find something about this business that lights that fire in you and makes you go. If you can do that, you absolutely will be successful. Absolutely, without a doubt. Passion, however, without a vision is only so good. Will only get you so far. So we all know the saying, start with the end in mind, or begin with the end in mind. Know where you're going. What does this business mean to you and your family? Know where you're going. For some of you, you want to leave an empire, a legacy. For some of you, you want this to be your plan A instead of your plan B. And for some of you, you just want everything that you make in Beachbody to go right into your savings account and round out your retirement. I don't know. I don't know what your end is, but you need to know. And it's okay if at some point it changes, but for the most part, you need to know where you're going. Begin with the end in mind. Have vision. And vision only works when it's written down, pen to paper. Share that vision with your team. Share that vision with your partner or your spouse or your upline or your peers. But you have to share that vision and make it known to the world. It adds power, it adds strength, and it adds accountability. So, passion and energy, or passion and vision. Passion and energy go together, but passion and vision. So, I hope that you've had an amazing Labor Day. Again, I thank you so much for plugging in to the calls. I've got about 5 minutes left. I just want you to know that feel free to comment in the space below, asking any questions that you have. I would be happy to come back and clarify those for you. They can be about the four agreements or about passion or vision. Also, I've added in the comments below the last 3 Zoom calls. I chatted with a few of you over the weekend who said, "Oh, I'm behind. I still need to watch the one from last week and the one from the week before." And because our Zooms are um, they're unlisted right now, meaning you can't just find it on YouTube. I'm going to share each one in the comments below for the last 3 weeks. If there's one in specific that you're looking for, let me know and I can try and find it for you. But otherwise, I've got the last few ones posted below. Thank you again. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on our new personal development book for September, which is Be Our Guest by Theodore Kinney. It's about how Walt Disney World trains their employees on great customer service. So, have a wonderful week, rock stars, and I will see you again next Monday.